Hello, this video is brought to you by my supporters on Patreon and my members on YouTube. Minasan, arigatou gozaimasu. My name is Kurt, and this is my daily good life meditation, an exercise that I do each and every morning, a little bit after waking up. It's now 4:42 a.m. I do this to remember my life objectives and principles, those which are outlined in my book, Going Alone. And I'm working on, right now, this copy for Gary. So I've got the front page illustration, the ink drawing part complete, and I've got some of the colors in, and I've begun putting in the illustrations for the supporting pages. Oh, I just realized there's a page that I missed. Huh. Or did I even start on any of that? I might have, oh, maybe I haven't even done any of that yet. Well, that's the case. No, there's that. Oh, I did. I missed a page. That's the trick with doing it all from memory and without a workflow. Maybe I better build a workflow for that. Anyway, I go over the principles and objectives in that book, which you can get a copy of from the link down below in the description. I recommend the hardbound edition. I'm also going to be updating my online store to just include Going Alone, not the other books. The other books will remain on Amazon exclusively. Let's see, what else? And that's because just, logistics, it's difficult. It's very difficult shipping and all. So I'm just going to limit it to the one book. Anyway, the other thing that I use this time for is to talk about my yesterday and last night and how I did with the various challenges and opportunities that I met. I prepare for the coming day and I ready myself for death, but I like to read a poem first. And today will be the last day we're going to read Ode to a Nightingale by John Keats. This is like the fourth time to read it through. Lots of notes, lots of studies of all the vocabulary there, and I think I have the idea now. So just imagine this is a poem where, imagine the author hearing the nightingale. Well, the way the story goes, apparently, a friend of Keats had Keats visiting and noticed that there was a nightingale singing in the evening, and Keats was out in the garden for a long time making notes, writing this poem, ostensibly. And the poem basically deals with the perfection of the nightingale's song, which has been timeless generation after generation, in contrast to all the woes and troubles of human life. So imagine that theme of the nightingale's song. At the end of the poem, the nightingale flits away from the poet off into the deeper woods, yet the troubles remain. Ode to a Nightingale. My heart aches, and a drowsy numbness pains my sense, as though of hemlock I had drunk, or emptied some dull opiate to the drains 1 minute past, and lathe wards had sunk. 'Tis not through envy of thy happy lot, but being too happy in thine happiness, that thou, light-winged dryad of the trees, in some melodious plot of beechen green and shadows numberless, singest of summer in full-throated ease. Oh, for a draught of vintage that hath been cooled a long age in the deep-delved earth, tasting of flora and the country green, dance and provincial song and sunburnt mirth. Oh, for a beakerful of the warm south, full of the true, the blushful hippocrine, with beaded bubbles winking at the brim, and purple-stained mouth, that I might drink and leave the world unseen, and with thee fade away into the forest dim. Fade far away, dissolve, and quite forget what thou among the leaves hast never known. The weariness, the fever, and the fret here, where men sit and hear each other groan, where palsy shakes a few sad last gray hairs, where youth grows pale and spectre thin and dies, where but to think is to be full of sorrow, and leaden-eyed despairs, where beauty cannot keep her lustrous eyes, or new love pine at them beyond tomorrow. Away, away, for I will fly to thee, not charioted by Bacchus and his pards, but on the viewless wings of poesy. Though the dull brain perplexes and retards, already with thee tender is the night, and haply the queen moon is on her throne, clustered around by her starry fares. But here there is no light, save what from heaven is with the breeze blown, through verdurous glooms and winding mossy ways. I cannot see what flowers are at my feet, nor what soft incense hangs upon the boughs, but in embalmed darkness guess each sweet wherewith this seasonable month endows the grass, the thicket, and the fruit tree wild, white hawthorn and the pastoral eglantine, fast fading violets covered up in leaves, and mid-May's eldest child. The coming musk rose, full of dewy wine, the murmurous haunt of flies on summer eves. Darkling I listen, and for many a time I have been half in love with easeful death, called him soft names in many a mused rhyme, to take into the air my quiet breath. Now more than ever seems it rich to die, to cease upon the midnight with no pain, while thou, pouring forth thy soul abroad in such ecstasy, still wouldest thou sing, and I have ears in vain? To thy high requiem become a sod. Thou wast not born for death, immortal bird. No hungry generations tread thee down. The voice I hear this passing night was heard in ancient days by emperor and clown. Perhaps the same self-song that found a path through the sad heart of Ruth, when, sick for home, she stood in tears amid the alien corn. The same that oft time hath charmed magic casements opening on the foam of perilous seas in fairy lands forlorn. Forlorn, the very word is like a bell to toll me back from thee to my sole self. Adieu, if fancy cannot cheat so well, and she is famed as she is famed to do, deceiving elf. Adieu, adieu, thy plaintive anthem fades past the near meadows, over the still stream, up the hillside, and now 'tis buried deep in the next valley glades. Was it a vision or a waking dream? Fled is that music. Do I wake or sleep? Okay, I think I have that poem now. That one's mine, and it's in my head. And it will shape and form and inform my future musings. Thank you, Mr. Keats. All right, yesterday and last night, I put this on repeat just every day now. Another solid day of work. Good, satisfying day. Hard work. I was exhausted throughout the day, and the morning was very hard. I did not want to do my job in the morning. I was downright down and depressed in the morning. I didn't want to do it, but I made my list, my to-do list, and I started knocking it off. And by mid-morning, I was well underway, rolling, steaming ahead, powering through each item. And when I was done with the day, I felt good. I felt like I had accomplished something very important. I had given my employer good value for my pay. I always feel good if that's the case, when I do my work. And then in the evening, nice swim, nice read on the beach. I finished Boswell's Presumptuous Task, that book I've been reading, although I have one little, there's a conversation with the author bit at the end I want to read, maybe 2 or 3 pages, and then I'll be done, and then I can start something new. Very good book. I'm very pleased with that reading. Good use of time. Challenges and opportunities. Just keeping my balance and equanimity through my workday yesterday. That's about it. Which is becoming easier and easier the older I get. Especially in these late 50s. Balance and equanimity are becoming much easier to maintain. It's almost just part of me now. I think very few things upset me anymore or upset my balance. I mean, I get down and I get frustrated, but my equanimity seems to remain more outward than inward sometimes, but that's where balance starts, right? The inner balance sometimes then follows the outward effort. Okay, the good life. 8 objectives are: to be always ready to die, to make good and effective use of my time, to develop and maintain good and sound life principles, to cultivate good emotional reactions, to perform good actions, to recognize true limits and true opportunity, to do just one thing at a time, and do that thing slowly, deliberately, and carefully, and then to maintain my balance at all times. Which was nice yesterday. After my swim, I did calisthenics on the sand as the sun went down. I stretched and I balanced, and I felt good. I felt good after that. Took a long walk in the evening with my wife and the dogs, and I felt very good during my walk. I feel good now. My muscles feel limber and loose. All right, as for today, oh, I forgot about the 35 principles. Let's see if I can capture them all. Making a lot of noise there. Just out of curiosity. Last time I did this, I got 34. I missed one. Let's see if I can get all 35. Ready? Go. War, reason, homunculus, anchor hold, home of good and evil. Purpose, atomic principle, principle of nature, the pirate ride, maturity. Social principle, principle of family, public speaking. Temperance, life will not go well. The horror show, that which must be born. Maybe that's the one I forgot last time. The feast of woeful. Distraction, agency, and the great indifference. The best seat in the house. The restless man, the path of wildness, the great life adventure. The risk of avoiding risk. Sin and damnation, complete oblivion. The season of philosophy. Script writing, the bullseye aim. That's 30. The uphill climb, arena and utility, nothing is enough. The principle of fun. And lastly, being prepared. That's 35. 10, 20, 35. Good. Lastly, prepare for death. Am I ready? Wait, no. Am I ready? Prepare for the day. What am I going to do today? Just a repeat of yesterday. It's another work day. It's a Thursday. I've got meetings throughout the day. I will prepare my checklist. First I'll finish all this. I'll do all my morning stuff, feed the dogs, feed myself, prepare my checklist, get the computer all fired up, and then I will execute the day, one thing after another. Bam, 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 bam. Then when I'm done, I'll go to the beach, do my swim, do my calisthenics and stretching on the beach, come home, take a nice walk with the wife and the dogs, have dinner, and then that's that. And then my weekend will begin. Am I ready for I don't anticipate any particular challenges today or opportunities, other than the opportunity to do my duty, to keep my balance, fulfill my objectives in accord with my principles. How about death? Am I ready to die? Are my affairs in order? You bet. There's a file cabinet right over there. It's got all the papers in it. It's the way I've got it set up is that there's 2 file cabinets, one for finances, one for personal stuff. So then you could easily tote them around like this. I've kept them parsed over the years, and toned down, and they're very well organized within. The one with finances has all of our tax information laid out year after year for like 20 plus years. Then there's all of our bank accounts and savings and retirement investments. All those are laid out as well. Bam, 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 bam. Plus there's an index file that goes with all of that itemizes them and has all of the passwords and URLs and all that stuff so that they can get in. Very easy to find. Here's this particular account. Here's the URL to go in. Here's how to log in. And then it also has the last balance. The last time I did the big reconciliation. So I have that for all of our finances. So, and I've given Yumiko a cheat sheet for that, and she has it herself, and it's in there too. And if I was to die suddenly, then all she has to do is open that cheat sheet, and it explains everything in that finance document, in that finance folder, how to use it, and et cetera, et cetera. Plus, I've been meeting with all of the retirement institutions, mainly my pension fund, and I've confirmed things with Social Security Administration. That's all lined up, so I know that if I die, Yumiko's taken care of for the rest of her life. So that's good. And then also all the personal stuff. There's the personal folder that has all the stuff, like all the car records and all the records for the few things that we own, etc. So that's all taken care of. So I don't have to worry about my affairs. My affairs are in order. Are my relationships sound? Absolutely. This new strategy that I'm using with my mom, which is that I reach out to her when I haven't heard from her for a while, but otherwise I don't answer the phone because she usually just calls me to be mean. But the fact that she called me means she's still alive. So she calls, I listen to the message. If it's mean, I just hang up the phone. Don't have to listen to the whole thing. But I usually do listen to the whole thing just in case. And I do keep the messages as a record because that's another benefit of this methodology. I've got the voice records now of all the things she's saying. So if I do need to go to, for example, social services or whatever I have to do to facilitate her well-being, I've got a record of her madness because she puts on a pretty good show in front of others. But then if I don't hear from her for a month, then I'll reach out to her, or 2 weeks, depends on how strong I'm feeling. Everybody else is fine. I see my nephew every second weekend. We spend a day together and have lunch. And of course, Emily's grown and fine and just nearly graduated. And Yumiko and I we've got all of our decades. So yeah, all my relationships are sound. And then my life's work is definitely done. All I'm doing now is just sending out, illustrating copies of the book and just sending it out. And my Patreon supporters and my members on YouTube, thank you so much. Your support makes all the difference, because when I send these out, I actually buy the book and get it shipped, and then ship it myself to wherever. And when it's overseas shipping, overseas shipping can be, just to send a book like this, could be $30, $40, $60 just for the shipping alone. So your contributions are used to offset that. Thank you. So yeah, I'm ready to die without a single backwards glance. So this video is done. I wish you all the best. Be safe, but not too safe. Take care. I will move forward and up. I will rarely stop, and I will never